everybody, it's Kari at the Racine Heritage Museum, and I'm here today with my special friend Chuck Tyler. I'm so happy to have him here today. Chuck, I got to interview you, I think it was a couple years ago.
Yes, I would say so, Kari.
Yeah, so Chuck is just a dear friend of mine and an awesome member of the community, somebody who we really just admire and love. We do have Chuck's book, Youth in the Center of My Heart. It's here in our museum bookstore, and as soon as we're open again, we would love to let you come down and purchase this book. But I wanted to have Chuck come today and just talk and share his heart, just give a little bit of his story and maybe talk about some recent events and just kind of go from there. So I'll let you begin, Chuck.
Okay, thank you, Kari. It's a pleasure being here. Always, it's a pleasure being around you, and thank you for everything that you've done for me. I'm here basically because of young people. They have always been in my heart, and they need us more than ever. I see them living in a world of uncertainty, anxiety, based on what's going on, and I like to share my heart, to give them hope that it's going to be okay overall, based on my experiences. And as I sit in front of you, I reflect on my days growing up in Carroll, Illinois, and I reflect on the history of Carroll, where between 1918 and 1920, they had what you call an influenza epidemic, and worldwide. But it affected Carroll also, and Carroll's population was about maybe, at that time, maybe 12,000 people. And all of this epidemic, which I call the plague, we lost 120 lives back then.
Wow.
However, worldwide, over 500 million people worldwide lost their lives because of that. And I believe in the United States alone, it was close to 500,000. And it was a plague. And we got through the plague back then. I believe we can do the same thing today.
Yes.
Same formula, basically. Back then, it was a matter of identification of the problem, isolation, testing, and vaccination. Those four things that people used. However, back then, they did the same thing they're doing nowadays. They closed up the churches. They closed up all the stores. People couldn't go outside. They were ordered to stay in. And they had to do this until they got permission from the public health officer, I believe. This, long story short, this process went on for at least 3 months. The isolation, the identification, isolation, testing, and vaccination. It lasted, I think, October, November through December. And I think the saving grace for the people back then is that they followed the instruction that came down from the mayor and the council and the health officer. They stayed isolated. They couldn't go to church. They couldn't go to the movie theaters. Very similar to what's happening nowadays. And after that, they finally came up with a vaccination. And things got better, and they were able to start their normal life again. I see the same thing happening here. The same formula. So I just wanted to share that with you. To give us hope, especially young people, based on what they're dealing with today. Now, I personally believe, based on my experiences, that this is like an act of God. He's getting our attention. I haven't seen anything like this, a shutdown where I see people praying more, even though they're not going to church. They can't wait to get back to church, and they're listening to God. This was his way to get our attention, I believe. And he is, basically. And right now I believe that we can't, personally I can't wait to get back to church, you know. And I'm not going to take fellowship for granted, the hugs that you get in church, you know, and the simple things, like hanging out up in there, like you do sometimes, you know, just the parks, you know, just the nature that God, you know, created for us to enjoy, you know, especially one another. I think once this is over, people are going to realize and take time to really enjoy one another. You know, to realize that how important it is to have family and friendship and be able to fellowship and hopefully, you know, treat each other right. Now this you know, shifting gears a little bit, we're dealing with what just took place recently. You know, the killing of, I call it the killing of George Floyd, I believe. No, Floyd, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Floyd, you know. And that moment, and there have been a lot of people being shot or killed a lot of times. But we were able to witness firsthand what not only went on then, but what we as black people and other people have been going on throughout our lifetime. You know, I can take you back to Carol. When I was born in 1937, and then around that time, you know, they had lynching, bombing of homes. Matter of fact, they bombed a home of one of our black doctors where he eventually ended up leaving. Excuse me, at that time they had segregation. They had threats. We didn't get justice, and when we went in front of the judge, you know, the law was there, but when it came time to us to get justice, you know, that we didn't get it. Say, for instance, we were caught fighting, or somebody shot somebody, you know, and goes in front of the jury. You know, oftentimes they would get whites, that is, get maybe a probation, or maybe a year or two in jail, where automatically we would get confined and years in jail, perhaps a lifetime. So we always, in my hometown, we always had that double standard, you know, when it came to the law. Back then, I can recall we were surrounded by Kentucky and Missouri, and oftentimes when something would happen, the racism would definitely flow from Kentucky or Missouri to come in, do their mob kind of activities, you know, killings or lynching, and then go back across the bridge, you know, in a comfort zone, or go across the bridge to Missouri, you know. So there's nothing really new based on what's going on. The good news is that technology has really brought this to the forefront, you know. Yeah. And what I see is that young people, they're searching for the truth, you know. They're not getting it. You know, they're not getting like they should, not from the politicians, not from officials, like they should, like no sugarcoat or whatever.
Yeah. They're
searching for the truth, you know. And they saw firsthand this person, George person, had his knee put on his neck, suffer, and eventually calling for his mother, you know, before he took his last breath. They saw that. So when I see God has a mysterious way to bring us together. Now I'm beginning to see where black youth, white youth, brown youth are beginning to come together, you know, and demonstrate and searching for the truth.
Yeah.
That's all they want, you know. This is their future that we should be concerned about. You know, unless we do something about it, you know, their future doesn't look right. So they said, okay, you're not going to do anything about it. We're going to do something about it. You know? So they're out there demonstrating and you know and just doing something what I call, you know, connecting spiritually, you know, to make things happen. As far as I'm concerned, that personally, all my answers and vision, and I've been like this since childhood, they come from because of my kinship with God. After being regenerated, you got to go through something. And once you establish that kinship with God, then He speaks to your heart. Then you start getting visions. You know, it's up to us to, me to obey the visions, and it's not easy obeying the visions, because oftentimes you got to go through trials and tribulations, and I'm praying that these young folks out there are going to have a vision, relationship with God, so that they don't be distracted and continue to do what they're doing, and it's all about equality and justice for all. That's all. That's what it's all about. That's what America should be about.
I agree.
So
Did you have kind of, when this was going on, you led peaceful protests and demonstrations in the 60s here in Racine, and did you kind of compare or feel like, what were your thoughts going through that?
Thank you for that question, because what happened is, the reason why I got involved, basically I'm a quiet, laid-back person, but if I see like what I consider injustice, I'm going to get involved. And in those days, the young people, we had an old building that I wrote about, and they came to me and said, Chuck, they got better places out there. We got to do better, So I prayed about it, I thought about it, And once again, God gave me a vision, And once He gave me that vision, and no matter what, I wasn't gonna let no politics or anything distract me from that vision. However, the bottom line is the young people led that march. And not meant for the young people gathering the older people together. The ministers weren't out there first doing this, but eventually the ministers got involved. And all of a sudden they grew. Black people, white people, brown people, different organizations, NAACP, more ministers got involved. It grew. Same thing today. But you see where it's growing, basically, based on involving young people.
Yeah.
It's steady picking up. So that's I believe that it wasn't me. I believe my spirit or your spirit would draw people. Young people are looking for a relationship with spirit. If they see that spirit in you, they're gonna follow you. And they saw that spirit in me, so they followed me. Not because I'm Chuck Tyler, but they felt it. They felt somebody that they could trust. And that's what they're looking for. I live for young people. It's their future. I'm 83 years old. God's been good to me. But I think about when I leave, or whatever. I got grandkids, grandchildren, great ones, and all that. And the young people that I see out in the community, I'm concerned about them.
Yeah.
And this is my call. Everybody has a different call. This is why I was put here. I didn't realize it. But now I'm beginning to realize that that God put this in my heart, for me to do. Some people might have the ability to be great scientists, or go for the moon, or be a politician. That was not my call. My call is exactly what I'm doing, until I get another call. It's all done by visions. If I don't get a vision from God, I'm not going to do it. It's all about how I maintain my kinship with God. If I have no kinship, I have no vision. And this applies to everybody, not just Chuck Tyler. You've got to get that kinship with God. And hoping that young people are going to have that kinship with God. Get that vision, follow that vision, then life will get better for them. But this is one way God got our attention.
Yes.
We tried, politicians tried, and but it took this shut down like this. And I'll share this with you, Kari. I wasn't want to say this, but about 3 or 4 months ago, I prophesied to my wife that something's going to happen. God didn't tell me exactly what. He said, "I'll be ready for it." He said, "All around you, you're going to see some suffering. You'll be some things happening." But he said more or less, that if you continue to follow the vision I've given you, you'll be okay. But around you, it's going to be a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
And I don't have no monopoly on prophecy. If you have that kinship with God, you're going to be able to have forethought, prophesize, because He's going to do, what's good for you under all circumstances. And that's what I want to share with young people, because this is really, the answer. In my book, I speak of spirituality, education, and God-given talent. Those three, they can just focus on that. They're going to make it. Spirituality, it's inside of you. You have to. It's there. It's been there all the time since creation. And education, make that your best friend next to God. You know what I mean? And God gave you a God-given talent. It could be carpentry, it could be writing, it could be a ministry or a police officer. If He gives that to you, do it, and you're going to be the best that you can be, based on that vision that He gave you.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
When you first started talking today about just the things that you saw in Caro,
Right.
and just, it can get very discouraging because we can feel like, is anything ever going to change?
Right.
It seems like it's been so many years. Have these things changed?
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think things are getting better, or has nothing changed, or will they?
Well, it depends on your vision. See, what I grew up in so much poverty, and I didn't know where my next meal was going to come from. But we were brother's keeper. Love thy neighbor kind of got us through.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. However, playing outside and didn't have any keen sense or nothing like that. But God gave me a God-given talent to play basketball. I just loved dribbling. We didn't have any goals. I would take a tennis ball and shoot through a basket. And while I was going through all that, the trials and tribulations, I stayed focused on my vision. At the same time, I was able to enjoy life, knowing that someday it wouldn't be like that. So I just continued to follow my vision, and it got me through it all. So that's what I see happening nowadays. We got nothing but problems. But God gives young people a vision. That doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it. I'm not going to stop enjoying life.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what we go through, I'm going to love and hug and reach out and enjoy my family and friendship. But at the same time, I'm going to try and make it better.
Yeah.
Based on the vision that I get from Him. And that's what I have right now. That's why I'm sitting with you. That's why if I get a call, somebody, say out in California, D.C., and say, Chuck, we need you, I'm going. I'll be right out there with the young people. Isn't it amazing how young people, with this virus going on, we're supposed to be separated. That's so spiritual. That's amazing. They're searching for the truth, and God is going to protect them from those circumstances. I think so. I was talking with a doctor recently, and he was telling me that. He said, Chuck, man, it's a mystery. He said, we don't really know what's going on. And we're trying, we got models, but the way it came now, I don't know if you recall the days of polio, the mumps, the measles.
Yeah, I've read about it.
Where'd that come from? But we got through it. A lot of people lost lives. And people refer this to a virus. I refer to a plague because I'm looking at what's in the Bible, all the plagues that went on through the Bible, and all the plagues that I've seen historically, in America, with all these different the mumps and all these different diseases that's going on. When I was a kid, when I was young, I'm very athletic, and I used to fear polio. When I would see this container they put people in, and they would come out and be crippled up like that. And God got me through that. Same thing with the mumps. We took vaccines, but at the same time, it was a slow process because they got to experiment first.
Right.
So He got me through all of that, and I'm still here.
Yeah.
I just want to give young people hope, but they're not going to do it alone.
That's right.
They're going to have to connect with the Creator, God,
Yes.
that I call, for answers. Because if mankind doesn't connect and spiritually and reflect on the Bible, then he becomes a liar. He does. It's just you just can't do this yourself. It's written in the Bible. Someplace I've seen that. Yeah. So therefore, I want to connect. All the time, I want young people to realize that before they react, reflect. So many of them get in trouble, get locked up. I want them to reflect, then react. That's what I do. I want them to, wait a minute, somebody says something to them, don't react right away because you're doing something stupid. But reflect on the teaching that you got from your parents. Reflect on what you learned from somebody. Reflect on the consequences that you will have if you end up hurting somebody or killing somebody, basically. So I stress it all the time, with young people. Reflect before you react, because God's right here. We can go, we have churches, we have all kinds of institutions, but God is right here in our hearts. When you think about how the world was created, you didn't have churches, basically, you initially had. So God didn't create us. What did Jesus Christ do? He went around. Where he laid his hand and his feet, that was his church. And eventually it revolved to having churches, which is okay. But God is with us all the time. But how many times are we listening?
Right.
Yeah, that's the key. He's talking to us, but we try to do it our own way.
Right.
Just take time. And all the time that we really listen, like people nowadays, is for this act of God to take place with this coronavirus. He just shut us down. And now,
we don't have anything to distract us now.
Now we're listening. We're praying more.
Yeah.
I love you. Can't wait to see each other.
Yeah.
God is beautiful in all circumstances.
That's right.
I don't like to see what's going on, but something better is going to come out of this for the believers. If you don't believe it, then it's not going to come out good for you.
I like that. And I like that you have the perspective and the wisdom of, okay, we've already been through this and we've already gotten through this and this will be okay too. And I think that's another thing that kids need is to have somebody like you come alongside them and talk about, we've been through things like this before.
That's good. I'm glad you said that because you stimulated a thought. Nowadays, young people, not all, don't have a clue of history, especially Black history.
Yeah.
They don't really have a clue what's in the Bible like they should. When I went to school in South Dakota, what really my saving grace was the book of Proverbs and a dictionary. That's how I became a writer, basically. It's right there. They didn't have a clue. So what I would love, I wish that they would have kept. They might have it. I wish they would have kept history, Black history, in the schools. Going back to the time of this wouldn't be anything new to young people. They had that. Going back to the time when Columbus came over and did this right here. Going back to the time of slavery, ancestors. Tell those stories. I wish my dad, before he passed away, would have told his story. And give young people an opportunity to see and reflect on it, and prepare themselves, for the future and learn from our struggles. Right now, some don't have a clue to how I struggle, to all the lynchings that went on, all the killings, I'm thinking about my ancestors and what they went through. I can envision, where they, worked the hours, the countless hours a day, sun up, sun down, and then when they had the time would break, I think, on a Sunday, basically. But the abuse they took from the masters who came in, and raped at will, basically, abused, lynched, had their own so-called justice, didn't want to go through the court system. They need to know that to learn from it, not to hate from it.
Right.
Because if you hate, then you will destroy yourself. That's what my father always taught me. So no matter what you go through, always love and forgive, and try to make it better. And he's so right. And blessings have come my way based on that. I had moments to really hate, but I never did. Oftentimes, my love would witness to people who hated me. Turn that hate to love.
Yeah.
Mysteriously. God did it. I didn't do it. Basically, it's just like following Him, following what He puts in my heart to do that. It's not easy, but the bottom line is you don't know until you try it. Just try it. You don't want to listen to me. Try to love Him. Your love your way in this world. Based on how you're being treated. Try forgiving. I'm thinking right now if I don't want young people to miss out on the blessings that are meant to be. By not being obeying their heart. I don't want to miss out on their blessings. So when God gives me a vision, I know there's a blessing behind that.
That's right. That's really good. It kind of just makes me want to again tell people how important it is to have these conversations. The conversations that I've had with you, those days on your porch were just the best times. And it just makes me want to encourage people to seek out, you know, your generation and get your wisdom and your perspective and learn from the things that you.
You know, we didn't grow up together, but when we connected spiritually. That's why I grew, you know. And that's what young people are looking for. They want to connect with a leader spiritually. They want to trust somebody. They're not going to follow you unless they trust you.
Right.
You know, and that's what they want. That's what they're searching for. You know, and once they feel that spirituality, they're going to follow it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happened to me in the 60s and 70s.
And that's how you had so many kids coming to you at the community center, and you got to speak into their lives and be that influence and be sort of a father figure to a lot of them. So
you know what the key to that is, I very seldom got up and gave a lot of speeches. You know, and I want parents and other folks to think about this. It was that one-on-one. You know, I had hundreds, but when I really got through, and they came to me one-on-one, you know, that's when I was able to make progress with them. And they come back and they tell me that they didn't forgot it. Matter of fact, even when they got locked up, I would write them because I knew someday would get out. You know, and one guy was locked up in isolation. I wrote him a letter, and I forgot about it. When he got out, he thanked me. He said when he was in a hole, he took my letter in there with him and read it. And it gave him hope. And I told him that when he got out, I'd be there for him. He got out, and once he got out, he ended up working at therapy. I think one of the local organizations. That was like one-on-one. I used to get criticized, you know, by some of the police officers, because when they came to the community center, I went through them out, bad or good, you know, and sometimes they would act out, you know, and sometimes, you know, some people thought that I should separate the good from the bad, and I didn't do that. I brought them together, you know, and it worked out. It was a struggle. It was a challenge, you know, and eventually the guys, the so-called tough guys, you know, came around, became the doorkeeper. They didn't stop fighting one another, the south side and the north side. You know. But just thinking I would have kicked the bad guy, kick him out and be outside. We'd be out there throwing rocks at the window, waiting for somebody to come outside. So I brought him in, you know, and spiritually, I can't recall not one person that I didn't reach. You know, I had, you know, and some went away, some got locked up for a long time. And one was locked up for a long time, 30-some years.
wow.
He told me his saving grace was reading the Quran, the Bible, and what he learned from me. You know, just sharing my heart. Like my father shared his heart with me, I'm doing this passing on the torch, you know, based on what people pass on to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one last question I wanted to ask is, just in the situation right now with everything being shut down, have you had an opportunity to connect with kids over the last few months, or has it been difficult?
It's been difficult. However, usually I connect with them with Kids Cafe, and you know, and all the times I'll drive down the street and I see the young people there, you know, and I am able to connect with them that way. However, I have a proposal pending, you know, and I was waiting for this to kind of subside. But as I drive through the neighborhoods and I see young people, elementary, whatever, out in the streets, I know some are hungry. It's tough. It's tough putting food on the table. So I want to get go for this proposal and ask the person who grants it to allow me to if I see a cluster of young people gathering, to share, or if a young person like pizza or ice cream, take time out. You know, that's my gateway in communicating with them. So I had this in the back of my mind to carry on what I call the missionary work, you know, based on the connection that communication I get from God Almighty. It's needed. I wish more people do that. You know, it's tough for people to put bread on the table. I know it is. You know, you're not used to a paycheck coming in, no savings. You know, young kids wake up in the morning, and I've been through that. And Carol, I would wake up, my aunt owed me $10 a week. You know, and I would wake up, I go in the kitchen, it wouldn't be anything that hardly. The only time I really got a decent meal was the weekends when she would, find some way to get scratch. So it happened to me back then. I realized what they're going through, but we always found a way. The neighbor would find a way with the butter, the bread, and make do, and for us until we were able to get that meal, that weekend meal, which had to last, hopefully throughout the week. I see that. There's nothing new. I mean, it's just a cycle we go through, and we can get through it if we, once again, become our brother's keeper. Love thy neighbor. Very simple. It's right there written, but we have to do it.
I
do
agree.
it. That's what my hope is. But we don't do it. We could be in some difficult times, which we are facing right now, but more so than that.
I agree, and that's why I wanted to get you out there today and share your voice and have people hear from you. So I can't thank you enough for coming and talking with me today.
Okay, can I say one more thing?
Yes, absolutely. Please do.
I'm ready to end up also. When I think about what's happening worldwide, India, Africa, and Mexico, and the young kids out there searching, hoping for freedom, starving in the process, being detained, and then I think about America. There's hope here more so than what I see elsewhere. That's why we should come together and do all we can, to make America strong. America was never great because of the slavery and all the things we had to go through. But we could try and make America great for the future for our young people. So I will do all I can, to make America as great as possible. Definitely for the sake of young people, for their salvation as well as mine. I just want to throw that in.
I love it. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
So we are going to look forward to hearing from you in the future. But we have your book here, and we just want to make sure people know they can get it. Is it on Amazon also?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm going to try to connect there.
Okay.
I haven't done that. I got to get somebody that's going to connect me.
Sure. But we can connect people with you, and so we just want to say thanks to everybody for watching and tuning in, and we just appreciate you, Chuck, very much.
It's neutral. I love you. Thank you very much.
I love you too.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
See you later.